On from Quantum Healing Energies. Welcome back, Leon.
Thank you very much, Eileen. Good to be back again. And that 2 weeks has just flown, and here we are back again.
It's crazy how fast time flies in lockdown.
Yeah, it's been very interesting, isn't it? I'm actually enjoying it in one respect because I'm able to do a lot more study and do things that not so much I wouldn't be able to do, but you can do it without the stress of having to, quote unquote, go to work. So you use that time to do the other things that you're doing. So, and part of it is you're discovering, for me, just discovering other aspects of myself are coming to the fore now, and different connections with people that have been made that I don't think I would have made before. So I've been able to connect with those on another level. Example, doing sound sessions for people in America, as plus the ones that I've been doing already, and just podcasts I've been doing, which I haven't shared with you. Young guy, I've shared, 22 years of age. We've done now almost 6 hours of podcasts on different topics. Today we did one on forgiveness. Yeah, 6 hours. We normally do roughly an hour each one. So today was about forgiveness, and he's really tuned in. And what I like about it, it's a conversation. It just flows. And, he'll ask questions and he'll put his own bit in. And we just talk about life under that context of forgiveness. That's very powerful. So that's another door that's open, which I'm enjoying.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies. Got Lisa. Have you got comments open?
Yep.
Excellent.
I've got a couple of hellos and a hi, and hello, Miss Grace.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what is happening at the moment?
Well, it's been interesting. I've had a very intriguing couple of weeks. My whole body has shifted, both ways, sometimes getting caught up in all the drama that's occurring, owning the feelings that have occurred there. Another lady who I connected with in the last month, I think, a lady by the name of Judy Satori. Some people may know of her. Amazing lady in the spiritual world, as far as I'm concerned. I was introduced to her probably about 6 years ago, but I looked at it, but I wasn't in that space at that time. But now to be able to reconnect with her, and I did a Zoom session with her yesterday morning. And I just left that feeling so empowered, but there was a deep, deep feeling of gratitude and also at peace, particularly peace. And as she talked at peace, peace, unity, and joy. There was the three, she said, from the solar plexus, unity, peace, and joy in that triangle, like a pyramid that we had over our body. And one of the things that I liked what she shared is that she's not doing anything for the next 6 months, I think. She's actually just shutting down. She's going to do a few interviews like we're doing now. But apart from that, she's actually just going to just stop. And I think it's really important for us all. The message that I got from that and other things that I've been doing at the moment with my study is that in this time of massive change, I'm going to use the word chaos, as the chaos is unfolding, none of us know where things are going. But it's just staying, and I said this last time, being centered in the storm. But what she shared from her perspective, I'm so optimistic in terms of where our life is going. And I feel a real sadness for people that have been forced in some respects for what actions they've had to take. And I even went into a medical clinic today with some of my oils that they bought. And just what the lady shared with me, I felt a real sadness in relation to that. But again, I'm looking at the synchronicity of that, of how that occurred, and for what I may, and I use the word may, have to offer them in that regard, because I'm discovering, how should I put it in a gentle way, the gifts that are being discovered now as a result of where we are. I don't know where they're coming from, but it's like any chaos that we have, any situation that we're not comfortable with, how we are pushed into a situation that we normally wouldn't see happening. And this is what's happened for all of us. We've all been put into a situation outside our comfort zone. Our normal norm has been broken down. And it's like, well, how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this in a way that the gifts that we've got, or a talent that we've got, or to evolve and grow through this experience, to come out the other end as not only a survivor, but thriving and becoming a new person. The analogy I love, there's a couple of analogies I want to share with people, and if they get that. Where I walk around here in the Blue Mountains, I often find there are trees that coming out on an angle on the side of the cliff, or side of the mountains, for want of a better word. But you see the root systems they've put out to actually find the stability. And even though they come out, they're still going towards the light. And I've always loved that metaphor of going towards the light. And even some of the trees that fall over, the root system is still strong. They're still growing. So one of the things that I got today, and it hit me on two different levels. We're alive at this particular period of time. And when I was in Scotland, really connecting with my ancestral family, which my great-great-grandfather came out from Scotland in 1853. Now, when he came out, he really couldn't read or write to a certain extent. The language, we wouldn't have understood the Scottish language, but he came out here, dealt with the challenges that was thrown at the family because they were taken off their land. They were I forgot the words will come to me in a moment. They were taken off their land by the land owners, and then they came to Australia. Imagine coming on a boat at that particular time. And we know if you go down to the coast of Victoria, the southern coast, there's so many shipwrecks there. So he survived all that, and then his genes or whatever have been passed through to me. And I know my grandfather's story to a certain extent. I know my dad's story, and I'm here. So I look at it, my parents, grandparents, etc., did what they did to bring me into this world. Now, how am I adapting and changing the circumstances that I'm being faced with right now to make sure that I can, one, be an example for my own son and my own children, and for my grandchildren. So to me, it goes both ways. So what I'm looking at myself, and I'm going, well, okay, what has been called in me to grow and evolve out of this situation of what we called chaos in one respect, to reinvent myself in one respect, to be able to do what I'm doing. And I remember that happened last year, where when I first arrived here, I thought, well, what else can I do to earn some income? Because mine just shut down straight overnight. And that's when I realised I could work in a restaurant because of my background having a restaurant. But this is more than that now, And this is what I think, if we can actually, instead of looking at the pain, own the pain by all means, but go and ask the right question, because until you ask the right question, the answer doesn't come. So if we become solution orientated and work together as family, and I think the word unity is so important now. How do we work together as a family, as a community, to solve our problems, to be able to deal with this? And I think that, to me, is really, really important.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you want to see someone solution focused, look at one of my kids. Actually, both of my kids are pretty solution focused. But the little one comes out and goes, Mum, I'm hungry. I'm like, yeah, mate, I'm just going to finish this and then I'll come and help you. I go out to the lounge room and he's got a clean plate out of the cupboard, and he's got his blueberries out and he's poured the blueberries onto the plate, and he's gone back to the fridge and he's got his strawberries and he's come out and put the strawberries on the plate. And I'm like, you're really hungry, huh, darling?
But it's good. It's good that he's actually taking control. Because what on another level is where do we give our power away? Or where are we empowering ourselves to take control of our life? And I was chatting with this guy today, and I think in old times, that sounds strange, doesn't it? In past generations, we put all our trust in the doctors, in the politicians, in the school system, in the religious system. Well, today, a lot of that trust and belief has all been changed because it's all coming back to us. Instead of looking for solutions out there, we're looking for the solutions in here.
Absolutely.
And that's the growth. And it's only today that it dawned on me. I've shared with people before here in terms of the ascension or the enlightenment to be able to carry more light. And I've said that last time we were talking. And I realised I'd actually lived out that metaphor. Because in 1988, my wife at the time and I bought an old miner's cottage, which is around about 100 years old. The house was almost falling over. You could see, well, not what, it was on an angle for a start. Very rusted roof, everything else, the old paint, you know, it really was in a dilapidated state. I remember looking at the foundations of it. You know, you'd pull a foundation out of the ground. The stumps were just not there. And the floor had been broken down. Sometimes you could see the earth be underneath it. And the wiring was poor. Now, and I'm very specific in my language here, I did this individually. Every weekend I would go and deconstruct this house. So I pulled everything out of that house bit by bit and then took it to the tip. But I also remember very clearly the electrical wiring in that was so brittle, it would never have carried the power of the electricity that what we needed to do what we built, what we needed to do. So what we were doing, we were building turning an old miner's cottage into a tea rooms gallery. That was why we bought that. Now, as it was, we rebuilt another building exactly the same as what that was, but built it in a new way with the wiring in it that would carry more light, more energy. And then after that, for a while, as we got accustomed to that, so these were skills that I didn't even realise I had. Well, in one way, I suppose I did. But then the next one was we bought the property next door to expand. And again, we demolished, and I use the word there, we demolished that place. And then what I did, I project managed that building that we did. And I remember at one stage, there were about 24 different tradespeople that I'd arrange individually to be able to come on the site at the right time to be able to rebuild that. Now, that was a skill that I didn't even realise the challenge that was about, and we needed it finished by a certain date because we'd already booked in 100 and something people to come into that event. So we expanded it from a tea room gallery to a restaurant, which did functions and weddings and all those kind of things. So to me, what happens is we turned that around. Now, one of the biggest challenges we had at that time was during the day when we had the tea room gallery, as it was at that stage, we were doing round about 30 roughly covers a day. Now, that was quite sufficient for what we needed. But then the pokies came in Victoria. And literally in one day, we went from doing 30 plus people a day, plus the gallery that we had, we went down to 3 or 4.
Wow.
Because most of our clients were women, and most of them were ones that had called retired. They all went down to the poke machines. So we had to adapt and change to do that. So those little things, when I look back on it now, I think it's those things that give you the strength to be able to say, if I can do it then, I can do it now. So the question I would put to people is, where in your life have you actually faced a challenge that is very much outside your comfort zone? What gifts came to the surface? What did you do to change and evolve as a person to become the person that you are today as a result of that experience that you had? And I think if you start to look at that, we can then go, okay, let's look at this situation as an opportunity to grow and evolve, because I'll almost guarantee that in a number of years, us still being here, we're going to look back on time this and say this is one of the biggest transformational times of our life.
Absolutely. I can hear you.
I'm just having a quick little look. But yeah, I mean, I'd love people just to put a little comment in their thing is, what have they done in dealing with a challenge that was in their life that actually allowed them to grow and evolve? You know, and I think it's only when we put in those situations that we find that inner power, if I use that word, our inner strength, that we find something that actually forces us to actually grow and evolve or give up. You know, they're the things that we've got. And that's why I used to love taking kids on camping trips with schools, because I'd put them in situations where they're outside their comfort zone, but you push them, and at the end of it, they can look back on and say, I did do that. You've got something solid to hang on to. I think that to me is one of those things, and we're all evolving, always. We're always evolving. So it's how we actually deal with the opportunity that presents to us, or the challenging situation that presents to us at the time. Yeah. And that's what we did, seeing this, I can hear an echo coming through there. What are you doing to me?
I'm just playing around, really.
Okay. Now,
I think I fixed it, though.
Good girl. Now, we had a quick shuffle of some cards today, and a couple fell out, and actually they all flew out. But I'm going to share this with people because I think this is interesting. I do want to go back to, thank you for the people who've put a few comments there. I really like when they see them come through. I'm using Erin as an example there. The thing that's happened for me, Erin, too, on another level, is it's enabled me to study a healing modality with Alana Fairchild, for those people who know who Alana Fairchild is. And I'm absolutely loving it. I feel this shift of energy within my body as a result of doing this program. And it's a 4-month program that I'm doing, and I work on it every day, at least for a couple of hours. And it's allowed me to develop my skills to another level that hopefully we'll be able to utilise. Utilise down the track. And the other thing is too with this is the development of these skills with the sound healings. All those things are starting to come to the fore now too. So I think if we actually put the question, and as it is, we have to ask the question, what am I to learn and grow through this? Or what things can I do for humanity? What things can I do for my family? What things can I do for myself that gives me the opportunity to do this? And I think that if we actually put that question out there, you'll be interested, you'll be intrigued when you find the answer comes. So the first card that came out today was this. I'll let you hold it up. I've always loved this card. It's a physical card. When it's read to me, it relates to our base chakra. And what's our base chakra about? Our base chakra is about our family, our tribe. It's our foundations of who we are. And we've all had that shaken up very clearly in the last 12 months. It's never going to go back to what we call normal. That's not going to happen. So what we've got here in this particular card is 5 is about change. It's uncertainty, it's mystery. It is stepping outside your comfort zone. You're being pushed into another direction, even though you mightn't like it. For many people, they don't have a choice. They have to either, there's this phrase, sink or swim. You have to go with this. And if you can actually go with the flow of life as it takes you and see the opportunities that present to you, instead of type of fighting against it. If you've ever been in a river, I remember rafting down the Franklin River when they were trying to dam that back in the 1980s. And there was one part, I'll never forget this. We're all teachers, and the first night we got there, we'd already been doing it. We'd done all our parent-teacher interviews and all that kind of stuff. But we're absolutely dead tired when we got there. And I remember sleeping under a bridge that night, and I'm not exaggerating. Literally, I'm about 10 feet above the water, and just on this little ledge, I'm just laying there sleeping. Anyway, the next day we got up to go, and it absolutely bucketed down rain. Now, the good part about that was we were able to all just stop and have a really good night's sleep. And for the rest of the trip until we got down to the Gordon River, the river just flowed. So we didn't have to paddle. We just went with the flow of the river. So if there was an obstacle, we either went round it or we went over it. And it was a great learning. And then on that trip, because we each had our own individual raft, which was packed with all our gear. So you'd sit in it, your feet would be against one end, and then I'll be back now. There was 6 of us on this trip. Now, what happened on one occasion, my raft got ripped down the middle. So we were able to repair it. Until we got later down the bottom a bit further, it got completely ripped in half. Now, the guy who was in charge of the water part said, we can't really repair it. We just didn't have the the gear. So I thought, well, what do we do? So we found a solution. And the solution was we put all the stuff, shared it around everybody else, and I hopped on a raft with someone else, and away we went. But the thing is, instead of whinging or complaining that I couldn't do it, I had a different experience. So to me, again, that was a real interesting one. That was completely outside my comfort zone, but what an experience that was. So, and also on a soul level, I'll come back to that. On a soul level, our soul loves adventures. Our soul loves new experiences, that we can actually take that experience, the wisdom that's gained from it, and it's stored in our own DNA. So when we come back, if we choose to come back in a soul, with our soul into another body, in another incarnation, all that is there. And this is one of the shifts that's occurring on our planet as we move towards 2032 and beyond. But I'll leave that topic alone. So let's look at this card. You've got all the colors of the chakra system there. On the right-hand side there, no, not that one yet, haven't finished yet. Go back to the other one, please. Yeah, so here you've got the green part here, where Eileen's finger is. Green is, what does your heart tell you? You've really got to listen to your heart. Listen to what your heart is. Your mind will want to give you information because that's the ego. It's also wanting to protect you, which is understandable. But also, what does your heart tell you in that regard? The next one, the next three colours or two colours are orange, and there's red, there's a bit of yellow there. So they're the three chakras, they're the first three chakras. So that's all the physical world. So what action are you going to take? What does your belief in yourself want to? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to create? And do you believe that you're capable of doing it? The next colour, the purple, is very much spirit, connecting to your third eye. And then the bluish colour is about your throat chakra. What are you expressing? What are you saying? Because your words that you share has energy. Your words are your command. That is who you are. So whatever you're expressing, be really, really, really careful of the language that you use. Really tune into what are those words empowering you, or those words actually disempowering you. So the words, it's like, if I can go here, my throat is my voice expressing what I want from my heart down into my second and third chakra, which is the manifestation of what I want. Now, the black represents, to me, is the mystery of the future. Also, it represents the wisdom that you've got from your past experiences. You've got three lines there. They're all white. White represents the truth, also purity and all those things. But white in this case is truth. What is the truth for you? And I said, you've got three different paths. Which one do you take? I always say to people, look at the one in the middle, because the one in the middle, it's got the gold around it, which is enlightenment, but it's also got the green, and the green is your heart. So follow that. And I'll guarantee you, as you step into that, and even though you think, I don't know the outcome and you haven't got any assurity of it, if it feels right in your heart, and this is what, and you'll know from your own experience of life, hopefully, you've built up enough resources or enough resilience to know, yep, this is the right decision to do, because there have been times in your life that you went against what your heart was telling you or your gut was telling you, and all of a sudden you think, oh, shivers, I knew I should have listened. So that, to me, is what that card is about. The next card is the number 7. 7 is openness and trust. To me, is openness, open to spirit, but also trusting yourself. So we've got spirit coming through, which also is connecting to our heart, which is you. Now, when we look at this picture, there are two pillars. The one on the left-hand side, to me, represents the spiritual side. The one on the right-hand side represents the physical side. Now, on your left-hand side, we've seen the green. I've already shared with you before, green relating to your heart. We also say coming from compassion here. We see some white coming through. So what is the truth that resonates to your heart? The pillar, we will notice here that there's a line. I'm sorry, when I look at it, go back to reframe what I was saying. The one on the left-hand side is your spiritual side, but it's actually moving across. So what we see all these little white dots, and there's a blue that's there. That's a lightish blue with the white dots through it. So the blue is, again, communication from spirit with the white. The yellow is a little bit of enlightenment. And then we come into the middle between the two. And we'll notice the lines from the the pillar on your left-hand side, you'll see the purple coming through into the next pillar. Now, when I see that coming through there, what we're doing here is the purplish colour. So it's spirit actually coming into your physical world here. The yellow is much more brighter here. So there's enlightenment, there's a message there. And we also at the bottom, you'll notice there's a lot of autumn leaves there. The autumn leaves represents to me the past. It's done, it's complete. We can't go back. That season is complete. But you'll notice that they're on a very solid foundation. So what I would say to you is, what is the skills that you have got that you actually that you can build on to be able to take your life forward? And then as we come to the next part, the blue there is, it's lighter color, but it's clear. And then we've got the green, which is the heart. Now, and we notice the words patience and planning. Now, I remember recently, when I mean recently, I'm talking about 2 months ago, I went in to get a haircut where I normally go, but the guy who's there had sold it. But there was a lady there that I'd connected well with, but she'd never cut my hair. And I thought, oh, I must have a haircut with you today, which I'm glad I did, because it's the last time I had a haircut. And anyways, as she was cutting my hair, we were just talking. There was no one else in the shop. The owner wasn't there. We had this incredible conversation about what she was going to do. So she was feeling inclined that she was going to leave because, for whatever it is, she felt this urge to go. She was at the age too, she was in her 50s. And I said, what do you want to do? And she explained to me what she actually wanted to do and where she was going to go. So she was clear in terms of her voice expressing what she wanted to do. Now, as it has occurred, the shop's closed down now because of COVID. So I won't obviously see her because she's actually moved town to another part of the world. But I'm sure she's actually doing what she said she wanted to do. But the point for her in relation to this picture is you're planning for what you want to do. So I put the question to you, if you've really been forced to either one, leave your job for whatever reason that may be, or you feel there's a massive calling to take you in another direction. I was just pausing, thinking, should I share this next bit or not? But I chose not to. But as I said, if you've got a feeling that's calling you in another direction and it feels so strong in your heart, why not do it? Maybe this is the opportunity that's presented to you to take your life into a whole nother journey. So that to me is what the planning's about. Next card, please. No, the other one, please. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead. Go with that other one. No, we'll go with the power one. You pulled it. Come on, let's go with it. Okay. This one here, I love this. This is the only major arcana card we've got. But one reason we've shared this card before. You'll notice the two big colors. We've got the red and we've got the purple. The red is the energy that you've got. It's again base chakra, but it's the energy, it's the passion of who you are. And it's on the person's on the man's side. The white hair represents it's the wisdom that this person has got. Also connecting to the third eye, there's a goldish color there. So there's a lot of wisdom in this. But on the other side is the lion. The lion stands in its own power. We've just come out of the Lion's Gate period this month. So the lion knows who it is, and I've shared this before. So the lion takes control. It goes and does what he needs to do here. The green, again, coming from your heart. And the other thing is you'll notice around the shoulders, there's a big gold chain, for want of a better word, with purple. So there's all the wisdom that you've got. So I put the question to you, and I had a conversation with a lady this week, as a matter of fact, a lady who I met about 2 years ago when I was house sitting in a particular town. And she's really been struggling with all the changes. She's felt like giving up, and she wanted to do this and wanted to do that, wanted to do something else, but her heart wasn't in it. Now, what I said to her the other day, I said, what is it that you have really good skills in? What have you done in your life? And one of the things that she has done is that she bought some land that was completely overrun, some really, really wild cows that on the property, and it was by a river. Now, she completely tamed those cows, that when she took them to the market, they always got the top price. And the land she turned into this wild land, into this beautiful, productive land. And she got recognition for it in a number of times. So when I really challenged her on what she was good at and what she wanted to do and what was in her heart, all of a sudden she got her passion back. And we talked about what she could actually do. And she said, I love interviewing people. So we linked talking to people with the passion that she wants to do in terms of interviewing, with the skills that she's got and bringing other people on board, which is in effect what you do, Eileen. You bring in all different kind of people and we all have a platform to speak on, which hopefully is making a difference in other people's lives. So she actually got that. And she really, and she just said, and part of it I offered to her, said, look, I'll interview you in your first interview so that actually people understand where you come from, which is going to take the offer up. So again, I always say to people, what would people say about you? What are your gifts? And if it's in your heart, go and do it. Because you don't want to get to the end of your life and go, shivers, I wish I'd tried that, or I wish I had done that. And there's a phrase that so many, actually, this is interesting. They used to have a television program where they'd interview these very successful people, for whatever success may be in those days. And one of the things that right at the end, they'd stop the camera, they turn around, they look at the person and said, well, what would you do differently if you had your time over again? And without exception, I think they all said, I would have dreamed bigger. Now, I think there's wisdom in that.
Absolutely.
Because I always put another question when I'm dealing with life coaching is, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And what would you do if money was no object? So when you actually answer that question, that's then communicating to the universe, this is what I want to do. And understand the why. Why do you want to do that? Because the why gives you the drive. The why is what pushes you. Not what or how, but why. That's where we come back to. When you know what you want and you know why, then you start all the planning. Then you start the planning and putting it together. So that's what this is what this is about. All right? Standing in your own power, unapologetically saying, this is what I want to do, and then start working towards it. And the last card, please. Last card is beautiful card. It's an emotional card. Number 9, end of a cycle. And when we look at it, in one respect, I can flip this in two ways. It could also be the end of where you are now with everything that you've learnt in the last 12 months, but then a whole new cycle. So I could almost ask you, what gifts have you discovered about yourself in the last 12 to 18 months? How have you been resolute? How have you been resilient? What opportunities presented to you that you took on board and discovered aspects of yourself that you never knew you had? What aspect of your diamond has been now polished? What facet of your diamond has now been polished? Where you took a raw piece, say like this, which has got all its roughness of it. Now I'm switching to a different, no, I'll use this. Okay, we take this piece of rose quartz, rough and everything else, and then we polish it. And all of a sudden we get this beautiful piece here. So in you, where are you going from there to there? So to me, I see this as a beautiful opportunity. Water is both left and right, so it's a physical and a spiritual. This person is smelling the roses. You've got this is the flower here. The green is about coming on both sides, which is passion, love. And then the other, you've got the scroll under your left-hand side, which is your graduation certificate, and you're moving forward for where you are. Because underneath the flower here, we've got the great big leaf there, which is complete, which is a treasure chest of everything that you've learned. But underneath there's a new bud. And to me, when I always look at that card, I look at what the new bud is. What's that new bud that's now opening up for you? So, yeah, there you go.
You know what I'd do if money wasn't an issue?
Go on, I'm listening.
This.
There you go, you're already doing it. Yeah. Isn't it interesting the answers that we get? because it's the same thing. I have the same thing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, loving what I'm doing, because I like to think that by doing what I'm just, and it's not, in one respect we use the word doing, but I'm just being who I am. And there's a difference between doing and being. You know, if you keep on doing stuff because we have to, whatever, but if you're just being yourself, your authentic self, it's not hard, because it's you. It's the essence of who you are is coming through. And at the end of the day, that is what the universe is after. We're after people who are uniquely themselves, being them who they are. That's how we contribute. We don't want you to be a duplicate of somebody else, because it's a waste of time. And this is what I'm discovering through the sound work that I'm doing, and then linking the crystals with it, and then the pyramid that I've got in the room, and the oils that I'm using. And I'm trusting, this is where I've come to a point of trusting that the doors will open at the right time, or the person that I will meet at the right time. And that happened today. I had to drop off some oils at this particular place. It's a medical centre, as I said. And when I got there, the person, I didn't read the text message. The other person that I was dropping it off to was at home. So I met the receptionist, and I won't go into the private conversation we had. But what I did share with what the oils do and what I'm doing in terms of my work and everything else. And as I said, understanding their challenging situation they've got, I said, if it feels right for you, give me a ring. Now, because we're in a professional situation, then I just shared that and then left it. Oh, yeah, I can. She's asked to see the pyramid. Round, gently. There it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
And there's right at the top there is the capstone, right at the top. And then there's the seat. When I've got candles there, there's the seat that you can see in it, not really. And I've got some crystals in that, in the chair. And I've got the caduceus coil in there. I can lift it up. I'm being gentle. Hold on, there's the chair that's sitting in. And down at the bottom of it, I have got, you can't see it, I've got different crystals. I've got selenite right around the bottom on 4 sides. So that's the pyramid. So we sit in it, or just by being in the room, the energy is in the room there as well. So yeah, so I use that from a healing point of view as well, where people sit in it. And when you sit in it, you really feel the energy coming through your head. It's incredible. You really feel it. So yeah, there's the pyramid. Thanks for asking, though. That was good.
I've only got a little pyramid.
Can you sit under that one? Oh, there you go. I've got a whole heap of little pyramids here that I've got. I use them at different times. Okay. Have we got any questions before we do a sound session? Or any other questions, any comments people want to actually put there? So, Michael, I've got a question for you, which you don't have to answer, by the way, but I've got a question to you. What are you going to do differently as a result of what you've actually learnt today? Because being inspired is one thing, motivation is one thing. Is the motivation, is it inspiring you to move forward, or is it coming from a point of, I call it there's 2 words. We do things when we're motivated from or reward or away from pain. So it's either pain or pleasure. Which one is it taking you towards? Understand that question for yourself. Are you doing it because you're escaping pain, or are you doing it towards the pleasure that's coming from you? So again, to me, a really, really interesting statement for you. But thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to do a sound session.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to this one.
I got my one.
So everyone, please make sure you've got a crystal. What I'd like you to do, if you've got a yellow or an orange one, any colour you got, which is chameleon, not chameleon. I can never pronounce that word properly.
Carnelian, guys.
Yes, thank you. That or tiger's eye. Tiger's Eye is another good one in that regard. I've got a nice heart of chameleon, or Tiger's Eyes is another good one. If you need some grounding in terms of, a jasper would also be good for you. If you, go for it. The Golden Healer Heart, which is also, love that one, connecting to your heart. If you need to express what you need to express to your partner, or you need to get it out, what you actually want to do. It's interesting. Sometimes that when I do a healing session or a coaching session with somebody, there are some times with some people that I don't even say a word. All they need to do is just share what they need to share. And in the process of sharing, they actually find their own answers. So I might every now and then ask another question, but they just need to hear themselves talking and they actually solve their own problems. So for a blue, if you've got a piece of lapis or any blue crystal that you've got, hold that, which has enabled you to actually speak your truth from your throat. If you're actually having trouble really connecting to your heart, and I call it almost forgiveness of, let me how I need to express this. Over the last 18 months, there's been a lot of probably pain that's been caused because of people have been put into situations that they're not used to in that regard, which I think is great in one respect, because you're going to grow through that. But also learn to forgive yourself and forgive someone else. Because in the forgiveness, it allows you to release what you need. I did a whole session on this today for an hour about forgiveness. So when you can forgive somebody and ultimately forgive yourself, because otherwise you would have done something differently if you had the skills. And this is why we grow and evolve. We pushed outside. So that's how you grow. But to learn to forgive yourself, if you need to do that, again, Aqua Aura is about speaking as well. And what was the other one for? Yeah, and pink for forgiveness. Learn to forgive yourself. It's really, really empowering. Okay, Red Coral, yeah, lovely. Labradorite, connecting to spirit, whatever the spirit wants to share a message with you. Well done. Well, let's start. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do is just sit at the moment. Just put your feet flat on the ground and just breathe in gently. Just breathe in nice and peacefully. And as you're breathing in, I want you to feel the energy coming down through your body and just removing any stress, any anxiety, anything that needs to be removed so your body becomes lighter. And see all that energy floating down, going down through your legs, going down through the balls of your feet right into Mother Earth. With each breath, allow that to continue. Do you feel an inner peace starting to build up? Ask the energy or the angel of the crystal that you have in your hand, or the crystals you've got, ask the energy of those crystals to be with you. They have an energy of their own, but you have to ask for that energy to be with you. Also set your intention. Set your intention and then let it go. And as the sound is played tonight, allow the sound to go where it needs to go. And whatever comes to the surface for you, allow it to come to the surface and leave. At the end of the session, whether I ask you or not, if there's some information or wisdom that you've gained from it, I actually want you to write it down what it is. The card that I got today for you, which is the Rumi card, which I always read, is called Cosmic Heart. It's also a number 8 too, which is about personal power. There's a fair bit that I want to read to you. I may read the whole lot, I'm not too sure yet, but I will read the first part and then I'll probably stop. And it goes like this. I was dead. I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I have seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. I hear it and weep. In sublime reverence, I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound. Much noise, but no truth. So I believed in many things not worthy believing in. Then in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than the temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things, like fear and doubt, is lunacy. Even my loneliness becomes unconvincing to me. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, the fishes, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. This is the time of the journey of love when the beloved, and that would be you and me, sweet soul, is prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine lover. The preparation will be a rich process, spiritually speaking. It may also feel like being beaten, pummeled, simmering and stirring in a pot of the divine master, chef, has become a sacred and savory meal fit for the most heavenly of feasts. This is a courageous and bold process, one that will create the most delicious aroma in the soul, and it is one that is likely taken up right to the places we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain. But where the loss of its grip on our being no longer lets us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. You have been through these tantalizing trials, the push to surrender fear, the realization your attempts at control amount to not much so. So why not abandon them altogether? The trials have asked you to confront every part of your being that holds itself back in resistance to what is, in resistance to what life presents at this very moment. You have been asked to become comfortable with the possible discomfort of not knowing, and to understand you don't have to understand anything for life to work out with perfect synchronicity and generous grace. You've been asked to bear darkness without losing hope for the return of the light. You have been asked to trust in your own heart wisdom when your mind was terrorized by nightmares and hallucinations of fear. They are so powerful, you were certain they must be real, that you must be crazy not to run and hide somehow, somewhere. This oracle comes with special guidance for you. Much love is rushing towards you like a great cosmic tsunami. You'll struggle with this blessing to the extent that you will attempt to hold on to what has been. So don't. Let go. Let it move you. You'll perhaps get some water up your nose, but nothing will come to you that you can't handle. You'll be dishevelled somewhat, undoubtedly. Yet as you are washed up upon love's shining shore, keeping your hair in place will be the last thing on your mind. Affection, realizing how deeply loved you are and how unnecessary it is to contrive a way to live your life purpose. Instead, you'll have no idea what is going on. You'll be surrendered in passionate embrace with life simply being your exquisite, crazy, unique self, saturated with divine love. It will drip from you, out of your feet and your eyes, your voice, your touch. You'll water the earth with love's oceanic presence. Oh, how that tsunami will deliver you into your divine destiny. No need for any contrivance. Let your hair get messed up. Your destiny awaits you now. And when you're ready, feel free to put one hand on your stomach and one hand over your heart. As you do that, allow your breath to flow gently in and out, tuning into whatever you needed to receive, and with gratitude, allow that to flow through you. And on your behalf, I'll read these words to you. Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, with all the wild love and unconditional affection of the universal heart, help me now. I trust in my own heart wisdom and in the truth of your love for me. Please help me trust in the flow of life. Let go of my fixed plans and ideas and open up to the genius of love itself. And may I trust in the signs I am given. May I be able to release any false guidance based in fear. And may I open up instead to the genius guidance and the inner knowing based in love. Under the grace of your protection, may this be so. And to finish off, feel free to put your hands together, honoring, bringing your head down towards your heart so that the mind is honoring the heart for what it is, for the wisdom that it's got. So be it, blessed be.
That's not what I meant to do. Bingo. Not bingo. I give up.
You were there 1 minute and now you're gone again.
It's your show.
I'm just standing here or sitting here. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, but now I've lost you.
There you go.
No, we don't.
There you go. Got it. You've done it.
Bit like the hokey pokey there for a minute.
And turn around. That's all it's all about. Let me show the people too the card, which I didn't. It's only right at the start that I realised I didn't do the Rumi card. I really, really like it, and you can see that the literally the reds and the oranges, which we were talking about. And this card that I thought was so appropriate because this is what we talked about: is letting go of allowing love to come through, letting go of fear, of not knowing where this is going, but allowing your heart to be the guiding force here. I thought it was interesting the number 8, and we talked about power, and what was the card that we pulled, which was the Major Arcana card of power, which was also number 8. So I think there was a lot of synergies in that, and I hope for the audience that, for those that are tuned in, that there was a connection for each person individually there, that whatever they got from that, it was appropriate for them. So yeah, it was interesting. How'd you like the little tingles?
I loved it.
Could you get the difference between the two at times? So I played four different ones.
You played 4 different ones?
Yeah. I played one for a while, then I'd bring another one, I'd play it, and then we'll just tingle together. There's slight variation. You mightn't have picked that up, but that's okay. There's 4 different ones. I played 2 at a time at one stage. It's all right. I enjoy playing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
What did you guys all get from that?
This is from Rumi deck. It's from Rumi, which is, and yeah, there's the card. Cosmic Heart.
It's beautiful.
For those that haven't been before, it's Rumi is one that I connected with, 10 to 12 years ago, and I just love his work. Wow. Erin, that is an amazing description. I love what you've got in my understanding of stuff. White is pure. It's a path you've gone. The water is about cleansing for you. There are different crystals. There's all the energy of the different crystals there. As you're swimming, you're realizing that I try to control. Again, just going with the flow of that. That to me is a really wonderful awareness for yourself. That's fantastic. That's beautiful. I love that. Don't know what Lauren means by that, but I only got the end of it. Okay, very cool. Lisa, thank you. The Golden Healer, well done. Yeah, it's interesting getting the pulses through people. We all get, how should I put it? Crystals affect people in different ways, depending on where you're at. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's very, very interesting what we get. And even if you just relaxed and just enjoyed the music, that's all that matters. If you get those messages for you, fantastic. I know some people get some incredible, I remember, like I shared with you one time, one lady get these incredible visions and goes on the journey, and we said, can you record that, please, and then play it back to us so we can actually see what you saw. But yeah, well done. Thank you.
No, that's amazing. Thank you.
It's good. I enjoyed that. It was nice to bring all those things in. There is a subtlety in it, and I just said you mightn't pick it up over the thing when you're actually at, if someone was having a healing in the place here, then you'd pick up the subtleties of it because they relate to the 4 elements: earth, fire, air, and water. Yeah, so it's the 4 elements. There's a slight variation. I just love playing them. So yeah, thank you for people for what they've shared tonight. Yeah.
That's
okay. Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. For that, can I share too with people that I do this every Sunday at 2:00, and also every Wednesday night at 8:30. So if anyone wants to, me send them a link for when I do it on Zoom, just connect with me on Facebook at Quantum Healing Energies. We'll pick it up there and we'll send you the link if you actually want to be part of it. And again, it's a similar kind of format, slight variation. I don't go into as much detail as we did this at the start. We'll have a very quick chat, and then at the end, if you choose to respond, as in communication, we generally have a bit of a communication back with where people are at, and if there's any life coaching bits, I give a little bit of that advice as well. Advice meaning I just share it, just take it for what it is. And yeah, we have around about 5 people every night come along, which is good. So whoever turns up, and we just enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, it's that.
It is. Well, take care. It's a pleasure. Go gently with yourself, particularly over these next. Wow, there's so much happening behind the scenes that I'm obviously not going to talk about, but there's so much happening behind the scenes. So just hold your stand up, understand where your strength comes from. Thanks, Erin. I'll do that. Yeah, just keep yourself centered. Don't get caught up in all the drama. There's a lot that needs to be, like I told the story, to be deconstructed, to be rebuilt. And don't get caught up in the storm of what's going on. Just hold your center, be loving, come from compassion, and just be in that space. So see how we go, and we'll talk in 2 weeks' time, roughly.
Yep, approximately.
It'll be interesting to see what's occurring. That's one I'm finding this is interesting because we're seeing the change of what's happening on the planet on so many different levels. So But yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the horrible echo back, but that's okay. We're going with it. It's not you. It's, I don't know. Having a really good weekend, guys. I will be back on Monday morning for Monday Motivation. Let's be honest, it may not be Monday morning. It may be Monday afternoon. Who knows? It's the beautiful, beautiful home learning saga that is. So we do what we can do. Have a really great weekend. As Leon says, be kind to each other. Oh,
hold on. I didn't do the pendulum at the end. Hold on. The life force. Can you explain the life force while I'm just measuring this?
Yeah, what was it when we started?
Or was it 13?
Ah, there you go. So Leon's got the Bovis Life Force chart where basically it measures the life force energy that we have, average life force energy for the group. See, you should be explaining this.
No, you're doing a really good job.
And then we do the whole session and he comes back and does it at the end to compare it. Now, I've done this with a client a couple of weeks ago, measured hers before her hypnotherapy or coaching session and measured it at the end. Amazing, amazing difference. So this is really cool. This is the effect that a session can have on the way you are feeling within yourself. It's really cool.
Wow. This is the biggest we've ever had. It's interesting. Yeah, it is. It's gone from 13K to 500K.
Amazing.
$500,000. It's completely gone in the positive realm, through the spiritual realm, into the cosmic realm. It's really gone up very well, and it just kept on working up and up and up. So, yeah, well done, folks. That was really good. I like that. Yeah, no, it's good. There's obviously, I would say, yeah. Please, I'll just briefly, Erin. Yeah, just connect with me on Facebook Messenger, and I'll send you that. I'll send you the link. So thank you for that. Thank you, Erin. I mean, Eileen. Yeah.
My pleasure. I love it. I love these
sessions. Take care, everyone. Yes, so do I.
Everyone have a great weekend. Be kind to yourselves. Do something for you every day. Fill your cup. It's no one else's responsibility to do that. Correct. I agree. Blessings to you all. Go gently with yourself. We're in big changes of time at the moment, and you chose to be here. Enjoy this ride. Just allow it to go with the flow of life. So there's one little part that I've got here on my, where is it? There it is. Life is a mystery unfolding. Awesome. Enjoy. All right. Bye, guys.
Take care, everyone.
See you next week.